Okay, so here we are. There's my very long driveway. That's going to be power washed later on, much closer to when I put it up for sale. These are my shrubs, which normally will grow to 15 feet tall, which I really like. They get a beautiful curving, weeping kind of look. However, it's a little bit too much for this neighborhood. Keep in mind that I was a landscaper for 22 years, so I do a lot of things differently than other people would do. So when we go around front, you'll see that these shrubs are actually 2 layers. So you come up my driveway. Again, everything's going to be power washed. We have a walkway, which for some reason has this weird angular curve. I don't know why the builders did that. That's variegated flax. I'm going to be taking that over to the hotel, which some of you, again, may or may not be following me there. I've got a native hibiscus that really needed more sun, so I'm going to cut her back. She'll branch out. Even though it's October, she'll have branches for next year. I'm going to make this skinny little shrub into a nice, tall, focused shrub. And then last year, I put this pathway in, and this pathway is a shortcut through to the front. Now, this part of my front yard has not been done yet, except a little trim to the shrubs, because the work that had to be done here was so massive, and it was one individual whom I appreciate so much. Now, as I take you through here, you can see this is a Loropetalum shrub. I've had it cut. It's the last cut of the season. Here, we are just starting winter time, and we won't really need any more cutting on that. Then this is like a focus area where I can put a potted plant, or probably Miss Crooked Head. I don't know if you can see my outdoor kitty. There she is. Miss Crooked Head likes to have a nice big bowl of fresh water. And then you can see the entrance to the house. You can see the house. It's somewhat secluded, but it's not dangerous. And with all the shrubbery that I had, it really was dangerous. I work long hours at the hotel, and sometimes I come home very late. So the next film that you're going to see here, or post that you're going to see here, hopefully this particular section, again, which I like, it's layered, it's got lots of different color and foliage and shapes, that will be made much more conventional. But let's go down the pathway, and I want to show you what we've done to make it very simple. We needed some drainage because I was having issues with soil washing away. So what we did is we cleared this down, I'd say 6 inches to a foot, and scooped out soil, added it to some other places, and then we layered that with weed mat, put the stepping stones on top of the weed mat, which did have some stones up underneath. So it was really stones, and I used pink marble and white marble. So it was really stones, weed mat, and remember, your weed mat must be water permeable. And then stepping stones on top of that. And then we filled in, once we got the stepping stones where we wanted them, and then we filled in with stone. Now, when these are cleaned up, you'll see I have a combination pink and white stepping stones, as well as the pink and white stone, and that looks really nice. Probably I'll have Mr. Clay come out and help me. We'll replace the tiles one more time and make sure that they get really clean. And then the wood posts, these are just fence posts. I like them because they're flat on one side and curved on the other, and they hold the rock in really well. So we'll refresh this pathway again. It's probably something we'll do at the end because it's something that makes it pretty. But you can see how you go through my front yard. In this neighborhood, my yard is one of the largest, so it has many different, I like to say, many different aspects to it. For example, this is Beauty Berry. This is a native, and I cut this back every year in the beginning of spring because the birds like to eat the Beauty Berry. However, I have so much of it, and I do have woods in the back, which you'll see that later as well. And so they do have plenty to eat. So I may cut this down in the fall. But it's very, very beautiful. It doesn't require any maintenance except cutting it back to keep it from being leggy. And any yard maintenance company should be able to do that. And here's a little pathway through. I may extend the stepping stones through here, but perhaps not the railings like I have here, the posts, the fence posting, because I want it to appear as if it's kind of like a little secret path. So we'll see how that works out. So then we follow this around, and of course Mrs. Crookedhead is helping us to walk through the garden. And you can see at this point that the path also shifts. So that pathway goes to my electric meter, and it also goes to a gate for the backyard. So let's see, I want to show you what the shrubs, And here in Florida, I just walked in, you heard me hooing, I just walked into a banana spider web. So here in Florida, you really have to be careful. These guys, I'm kind of short, and these guys tend to be about my head height. So if you're taller, your body walks into them. They love to make their webs a lot higher up, about 6 feet high. Unfortunately, this is between shrubs. So we're going to have to, unfortunately, remake her web. She'll make it later. And I'm not destroying the web. I'm simply moving the supports so that when I walk through it, it does not destroy it. Okay. Whew. I think I just walked through a second one, or a secondary web. Either way, they're kind of creepy. So I wanted to come out here, and you can see now from the front, it's much easier to see because there's no shrubs behind it in the back. You can see how it's layered, right? These were individual shrubs. They're different varieties. This is an opening, which unfortunately, I don't really like the opening, but we're gonna put a bird bath or some feature, nice big container perhaps, like you see around the entry with those 4 step stones. But this will fill in through our mild winter, and it'll be very, very nice. I just don't want to encourage someone to come through that way. Now this stump that you see was a beautiful tree. I loved it. It was a weeping holly. I called it my Dr. Seuss tree. However, it was not planted correctly. It was not trained correctly, and the growth habit just looked terrible from the street. It looked like some kind of, it wasn't even an attractive feature. So that trunk will be cut back even further. And again, originally it was the feature between the shrubs, but the tree grew crooked. It was planted crooked by the builders, and it just never was right. So let's get rid of that, and we'll make that right. And a lot of material from here, a lot of material I am conserving and taking over to the hotel where I can use it there. And here's another little shrub, a loropetalum. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to make it into a tree, which you can do by pruning. You have to kind of know what you're doing and know the biology of trees, which is very different from shrubs. And then here, instead of the fence posting, because this is a curve, I've used some very small bricks. I just picked them up from Lowe's. They'll have to be power washed and replaced. And you can see here a little bit how the edges are sort of rounded off. And the reason I do this, again, is because there's a slight downward curve to my driveway here that goes to the right. So the water, when we have our drenches, the water will absolutely just run across the driveway. And I don't really want that for people who come to visit me. Now you'll see, I'm going to show you this part of the driveway because my truck is broken. I don't want to show you my driver's tag, but you can see there's parking here. This is a very generous driveway. And then there's another parking area here. So if you have 2 cars, the parking is very generous. And my driveway is one of the longest in the neighborhood, but that means that it's also one of the worst eyesores when it's dirty like it is. So I'm going to close for today, and hopefully I'll have some helpful pictures and advice for you. And good luck on your journey for putting your house on the market. I'm not going to show you the inside just yet. Have a great day. Remember, today is the day you choose it to be. If you can only do one thing to move your house forward on the market, do that one thing, whatever that is. Thank you, and have a great day.